do.
That's all it is.
That's what I'm saying. But the thing is that we got to get out of that, because as long as we believe in Bible and Christianity, we are doomed to failure.
And it's already shown us to failure.
Exactly.
I don't understand why they don't study. If you went to school and you got a college degree, why don't you study the Bible like you studied to get your PhD?
But you know, the funny thing is though, do you know that 80% of people, or 85% of people who claim to be Christian has never read the entire Bible?
Never even read 2 verses out the book, except what the pastor told them.
No, you imagine, and this is something that is supposed to be for your everlasting life.
And you ain't knowing it.
And you ain't knowing
it from front to back.
So how is it though, when you go into a temporary thing to be a doctor, a dentist, or whatever, a lawyer, you're so dedicated to those books that you will spend sleepless nights
studying.
But here is something that's supposed to be for your preservation, for your everlasting life, for the perfect paradise, the perfect earth, and you won't even study it. And when I ask you a question, because I spend the time and study this book, and my thing is, when I ask you a question about it, right, you can't answer me. You says, I got to go to talk to my pastor. I got to go do this, or I got to go do that. Why? Because if this is something that you should be so concerned about, why is it that you can't answer these basic questions?
Because you don't know. And another sad thing about it is the Holy Bible. Let's go with that. The Holy Bible, the King James Version. Right. You ask the average black Christian who King James is, they can't tell you who King James is.
Exactly.
And then when you say, okay, well, the title of the book says version. So if this is the King James Version, how many other versions is it? And which versions is true? You got the King James Version. It's a Schofield version. There's another version of the Bible. There's the Old Testament.
Right.
Couldn't have the New Testament without the Old Testament.
You have the Douay Bible. You have the
McAfee Bible.
The Maccabee Bible. You got the Moffat translation. You got New World Translation. You got several translations of this book. What I'm saying is, even going with a translation, but the first thing is that you ask some people. I asked one of my cousins, I said, do you know what the first Bible was? He said, it's not important. I said, what do you mean it's not important? I said, have you ever heard about the Septuagint? He said, no, but I don't really care about that. What? So what I'm saying is that, you know, here's somebody that look at me and said, look here, and he telling me about all is important is the blood of Jesus. I say, you know what? Blood is important to me, the blood of my ancestors. Because I know that they died that I could be here today. They fight that I could be here today. I don't know about no Jesus. I ain't care about no Jesus.
My ancestors
is who I care about. And the fight that they were fighting, I'm going to carry it on, and I'm going to continue it. There's no Christianity in my vocabulary. There's
no religion in my vocabulary.
There you go. Nothing named religion, because I'm a spiritual person. My ancestors, they were spiritual man and woman. African people, that's who we are. And until we identify that and put away this garbage, this rubbish that keep us in bondage, I think that's where we as a people, once we see the light, you know what I'm saying, come out of this darkness that they have us, you see what I'm saying, then it's going to be a whole different world.
And we can run it.
You know what I'm talking about?
And we can run it. But just one thing for people to know who believe in Christianity and believe in Jesus, ask yourself this question. Where was Jesus doing slavery?
There you go, my brother.
Where was any other saints or anybody like that during slavery when we had to go through all the things we had to go through? Another thing, what he just said a few minutes ago, how we don't study the book. So if you don't know the Ham story, you're not going to understand why you a slave right now today.
Exactly.
And it's the book. So if they was to go back and say, hey man, we about to put y'all back in slavery, the Christian's gonna be the first one they snatch up, because you believe in that motherfucking story, and you're gonna be right back in slavery because you love Christianity. Exactly. Tell me I'm wrong. Go read your book.
Exactly. And that's my point, my brother. I don't care what people say, but like I said, I am always gonna be on the thing that is endangering the life of our people more and more. I said, no matter how you see police is shooting down our sons and our daughters in the street, you don't see no religion get out there and say, look, you got to stop killing our people. No black religion stand up for our people. No matter what they're doing to us, none of these religion that is taking the money and the resources of our community do anything to stop it. You never hear them out there putting it out there. You never hear them coming out there as religion and say, okay, you are this religion and that religion, but we must come together as one to stop our people from dying. When did you see that? So what does that say to you about these religions?
The religion got us psychologically screwed.
Exactly.
But we can come out of that.
Okay, when you see other people, you see the Chinese people, when they decide, because like I tell black people, the only religion that white people have is white supremacy. That's their only religion. Because anytime anything happens, they don't care about any of that stuff. They're going to go kill. They're going to go fight. They're going to do whatever. Yep. The thing is that we don't get it. But yet we're ready to go and fight with them for the cause that we don't even know.
That's why it's imperative to study.
Exactly.
So you can know what they did. I wish people would study the European.
And it's you know what I tell them, my brother? The history of the European is based on 3 things: death, destruction, and domination.
That's it. That is it. Domination. That's why I don't say white supremacy. I say white domination.
Exactly.
Because they ain't superior to shit. They'll come over and kill you. But if they were superior, they wouldn't have to kill nobody to get anything.
But you know what though? Is their inferiority which become their superiority.
Yeah, but they make us inferior.
But that's, you see the point?
Yeah.
So we now, because like I tell them, they build a system which is white supremacy in basically in the sense now they will always dominate you. And the greatest thing, the greatest part of it that they sold to us in a bag, where we didn't look in the bag before we buy what was in the bag, is the same thing with this Christianity. Once they sell us this Jesus, that he's going to be our saving grace, this white man coming out of the sky with the clouds and these white angels, then it was all over.
Yeah, that was psychological too, because when you look at a white God coming out the sky to save you, when you see the white person walk down the street, what do you look at him as?
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, no matter how you see, okay, look at those, look at the typical example. South Africa. 10%, which is the white people in South Africa, control all the wealth.
And they're not white. I mean, they're not black.
90% of the wealth they control. But here is the blacks in South Africa that will kill each other. But they won't put their hands on a white person.
That's the same thing in America.
Because it's the savior complex.
Yeah.
They are the gods and the Jesus and the angel.
That's what I just said.
And exactly, my brother. So I fully agree with you, because the fact is that we're not going to go up against them. Touch that, die anointed.
No, you're not.
You see the point? So until we recognize that we see everything wrong with blackness, but we see everything white with whiteness.
Yeah. And they don't even know, man, melanin is what runs the world.
Hey, but these white people are paying $25,000 for a melanin shot.
Yes, they are, brother. Yes, they are. And our kidnapped kids are missing people. Okay. All in our black neighborhoods is where they getting that melanin from.
Exactly the point. Exactly the point. So we as a people need to see the value in ourselves. But like I said, the first thing that you need to do is self-examination.
Yes.
Sometimes you need to lock yourself in a room.
Pay attention.
And start to pay attention to what your higher self is saying to you. Because there's no God in the sky. It's your higher self talking to you, which is the consciousness that is within you that is going to lead you out of the situation, the destruction that you find yourself in. Because until you start listening to that inner person, you will never find yourself out of the destructive part that they put you on.
And Jesus ain't gonna definitely help.
Jesus is the one that put you on that path.
Got you slaved out.
Exactly. Because
you out.
Didn't the Bible say slave must be obedient to their master?
Yes, sir. That's your boy said it too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So they tell you, and that's why we as black people we believe it, because the Bible tells us that we are slaves. And we must be obedient to the master, even if he's treating us harshly. Meaning, even if he's raping you, if he's killing your children, feeding them to alligators, or whatever he's doing to you, hanging your son on a oak tree on a Sunday afternoon after they come from church, then you must still be obedient to the master.
That's what a picnic is.
You see it?
After church, pick a nigga, hang him. And that was torture. And those was Christians that did that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all sit here and tortured him, laughed at him, hang in the tree while y'all sit there and eat food. That's Christianity. And we was the butt end of that shit. And you gonna believe in Jesus.
You see what I'm saying?
Where was Jesus at when the picnic was going on?
when they come and pick up an innocent man, an innocent son or a father, have nothing to do with anything, but they come and pick him up in his yard and take him and put him, hang him on a oak tree. And they, when you see those pictures that they themselves put out, where their little children is standing next to the dead body smiling, and all of these things, how is it that we take that in and we can't still get the point? That says something is wrong with you.
But that's why you need to study. Right now, what I want to do on your show is to start a class on slavery. Slavery. We need to go and start studying slavery to see what they done to us, so we can get out that shit. Because it was a mental thing. A lot of mental things. Very abusive, very violent. The raping of men, children in front of their families was all done by Christians. Exactly. So I don't understand why we should stay away from religions, period, though. I'm not trying to bash Christianity. Some people love that shit. I just don't. That's not me. I know the history of it. So pick up a book and read, man. Learn about slavery. Learn about what they did to us. The reals. Learn about John Hoskins and his first ship from Africa to America. Some names out to us, John Hopkins. Yep. Good ship Jesus. Every black person got on. The first 2 black people that got on was Adam and Eve. Everybody else was a number. That was on the boat. Why are you going to believe in that religion? Or better yet, the people who did what they done to us are Christians. Why would you believe in their religion when they did everything that they did to us? Why would you even do that? You know what I'm saying? They did. In the beginning, they didn't even want us to know Christianity. We were beasts. 3/5 of a man. We wasn't even human beings. You know what I mean? So when slavery started to become over, how can we continue to control these black people? Give them Jesus. And now look, 2019, getting killed in the street. Can't come together. I can't walk up to my brother and be like, hey, brother, I love you, man. Let's go do something together. Nah. Exactly. I'm going to look at him and be like, what's up with you, bro?
That's what I'm saying. Know you in the sense is that, okay, we 10 black men won't come together, put their money together to go start a business to help and support their community. It's hard to find that.
But it's a reason for that.
But again, exactly. So it's a psychological warfare.
It's a psychological warfare
that is being fought against us as a people. Yes, sir. But only we don't recognize it because the blame we do is on each other.
They taught us how to hate each other.
Exactly. And
that comes with slavery too. So you gotta promise you, man. The biggest thing is to learn what happened to us. They tell us to forget slavery for a reason.
Yes.
It's a reason for us to forget our trauma, our torture, our humiliation. They humiliated the shit out of us. Just think about being put on a block to be sold. Some man gonna come test you out, open up your mouth, see if you got anything, grab your shit, all that. Those were Christians that did that to us. Those was Christians that bought us from the Africans in Africa. You know what I'm saying? It was still the difference between slavery in Africa and America is 2 different things. The people that were in Africa were prisoners of war. Yep. Slavery in America is to do for they lazy ass. We need to be out in the field getting their work done for them so they can make them rich, and they ain't gonna do shit. It's the difference. So when people start talking about, oh, we stole us into slavery, it was, nah, it ain't the same thing. Go do your research. You'll find out. It's out there. It ain't hard.
They following the narrative of these same people that had done the job on them.
Yep.
And until we learn to let that go, let that part of it go, that we can come to our reality, and we have to decide our own destiny. They can't decide it for us.
But it's a lot of things that's the language we speak. You know what I'm saying? They took a lot of stuff from us. You know what I mean? So it's hard to get things back. And then when we try to get it back, it's whitewashed.
Yeah.
So then we got to go through that to get our meat and potatoes. Yeah. It ain't easy, but it ain't hard. It's just a little work.
You know what? I tell people this, my brother. I said anything that a man build up is easy to tear down.
Easy to tear down.
Anything that a man build up. So don't think that they build this wall that you cannot penetrate. That's a lie. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? It's easier to tear it down than to build it. So they come along and they build this wall around us as a people, and they hold us captive under all of these false pretense and all of these lies, because everything that they have told us, everything that they have done to us is a lie. Lies and deception, that's what you find yourself in.
Yes, sir.
And until you start to recognize these things, like I tell people, and I keep on preaching, I said, religion is one of your biggest enemy. As a black man, a black woman, and a black child, religion is your biggest enemy. Until you realize and recognize that, then you're going to have a huge problem, because the thing that you're thinking is solving your problem is the problem itself. And how you're going to get out of it if you keep looking to the problem for the solution. Whew.
You should say that shit one more time. You know what I'm saying? Because you looking to them to get a solution for yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was the one thing I said about Bobby Wright. You know what I'm saying? You cannot use white people's definition to define black phenomena. You know what I'm saying? So how you gonna do that? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They don't know who we are. They just captured us.
Exactly.
They don't know who we are.
They don't care neither.
Nah.
As long as we are serving the purpose that they want us to
serve,
serve, they don't care.
don't
If
care.
the Arabs are coming to your community, they don't care about you. They only care about that you spending your money with them. The same thing with the Chinese. They only care about you spending your money with them.
Now,
that's all it.
Black people in America should wonder, why is it such a problem when we come together? Why is it the police try to no loitering, can't stand on the corner? What is wrong with black people coming together? Everybody, every other species of human being, I ain't gonna say race, species of human being could come together with no damn problem. Chinese come together, do what they want. Japanese come to do what they want. But black Americans. And then when we do decide to come together, now we got white pressure. Why? Ask yourself that. Why is it when black people come together, why is it that white people want to tear that shit down?
Yeah. But
Because they know something we don't.
You ever notice? You ever notice if me and you are three of us standing in the street having a conversation, you see white people they start to come in and they try to listen to what
you're
talking
about.
Okay, because you see every time they see, especially black males coming together and start to talk, it's a threat to them. Because in the greatest thing for white people, the greatest problem or issue that white people have, every time they look at black men, women, and children, they say, you know, one day they're gonna rise up against us and they're gonna destroy us for what we have done to them. Each and every one of them that you know and me, they have that in the center of their psyche. They have that one day black people is gonna get it and they're gonna say no more. That's what they're afraid of.
And then that's when they're gonna find out we are not the minority. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never been the minority. You got to understand, these people came to this country and they brought millions of slaves. There wasn't millions of them when they came. You know what I'm saying? They brought more Africans than they brought Europeans, so we ain't never the minority.
So all these numbers that they give you is to play with your brain and your mind.
Yeah, psychological.
And that's what we are not seeing and realizing. That's why I tell people, if you look, for instance, give you an instant. If you look at countries like Colombia, okay, you would think when you see Colombia on TV that the majority of people live there is of European descent. When you go to Colombia and you realize that at least 65% of the populations are African.
Straight from Africa.
Okay?
Yep.
So
that's Colombia.
That's exactly, and that's a lot of places.
Mexico.
They do the same. There you go. A lot of places they do the same thing. So it's a psychological warfare, like I'm saying that they are fighting, but only you not realizing that you are in a war.
Yeah, that's our biggest problem. We don't understand we're in a war. We waiting on Jesus to come back and save us from the war that we don't know we in.
That's the thing, my brother. That's why I said the savior complex. Nobody can save you but you.
Man, say that one more time.
Nobody can save you but
yourself.
That's it.
And that's why we need to come together, because we're a big self.
You see it?
We powerful people.
You see it? You see what oneness can do?
I'm telling you. John Henry Clark said it.
That's it.
If we did one thing collectively, we'd change the world, even if it was bad.
But even though a man like that, the same John Henry Clark tell us that, look, we have no friends.
We ain't got no, never did.
I asked the question, I said, who has ever come to the African people aid in all that they suffered and gone throughout the decades and the centuries? Who has come to our aid? Nobody. So are you going to tell me you my friend?
Never.
Huh?
If they did come, they were shaking our hand, but as soon as we turned around, they were stabbing us in the back. Yep, that's the Chinese over there right now.
You know what they do? They break the knife off at the handle when they stab you in the back, that you can't pull it out.
Yep.
That's the problem that we're not. Because you see, we in this thing, love everybody. Oh, Jesus says this is what you should do. Jesus says this is the only way. You need to learn to suffer for the sake of the kingdom. What kingdom?
Suffer. You were put on this world not to suffer. You was put on this world to live a fulfilled, joyful, meaningful life. You wasn't put here to work for nobody else till you die. That's bullshit. Who told you that? So, and then only black people got to go through that shit though. We got to go through all hell to die to go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? So whatever bullshit we deal with on planet Earth right now, we got to take it because we want to go to heaven.
But you know, I'm sorry, I don't want to be in that heaven, my brother. I'm sorry, I don't want to be in that heaven because the thing is, what I see when they talk about hell, I know that this is hell that they have created for black people.
For black people, this is our hell.
This is what I'm saying is, and until we recognize that this is hell, you see, and all these things. Look here, in the African language, there's no word for hell. There's no word for Satan. There's no word for Jesus. There's no word for none of this bullshit that they have taught to you.
It's not a term for religion in the African indigenous languages, no.
Even some of our own African people want to bring this bullshit to me and tell me that religion was started in Africa. That's the biggest lie. That's the biggest bullshit, man.
That's because they was colonized.
Exactly.
All the African scholars get, when you hear about an African scholar, the only reason why he's an African scholar is because he went to the European schools to get taught.
There you go. And these people, you know what they do? They know how to bend time. They know how to put things in place for you to go and find them. They tell you about all these bullshit Dead Sea Scrolls that was from how many thousands of years ago. They know how to plagiarize and manipulate and put everything together for you to believe it. And that's what we say. You gotta get out of this belief bullshit. Just like that brother says, listen, my little 3-year-old daughter say, I want to see the evidence. Bring it here.
Show me
the bag.
That's what we need to do. That was a good thing he said too.
You see, so you got to teach. We got to teach our children.
Show me the evidence.
To show me the evidence. When you come into this stuff and tell me that this is who I am a slave, and I will not be anything more than a slave, forget that bullshit. And I don't want equality. I don't want none of that bullshit from you. Okay? I tell people this, look, man, you got to get out of the narrative that they sell you. Put it aside, because just look here. When these people tell you, look here, you know, we are all equal under God, they don't see you that way. Okay? And I don't want to know this God that put them in charge. I don't want to know him. I don't want to be any part of him. Okay? Because that God there is everything that I see that he does in this book called Bible. Here's people living on their land for centuries and centuries. And he promised some people that is your promised land. Somebody else's land.
Somebody else.
Isn't that what America been doing? Killing people and take them off their land and saying that this is the promised land? Huh? Isn't that what the Jews did over there in Palestine? But I ask you this question. How come everybody wants us to forget our history about enslavement? And how come nobody tell the Jews when they speak, these so-called Jews, when they speak about their Holocaust, how come they don't tell them to shut up and don't speak about it? How come they get paid for their Holocaust? But how come the greatest Holocaust that take place on the planet Earth, nobody wanted to pay the African for it? Because the African themselves won't stand up for equal rights and justice in true sense. Only you can bring equal right and justice to yourself. Nobody else cannot do it. Okay? You got to take it.
Yes, and the people who made you unequal or whatever you want, what the brother just said, is the ones that we need to sit down and have a talk with.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Real talk, because we are taught to hate ourselves. We go through their schools and we are taught, just like you go to a curriculum, any one of these states in the United States, they don't teach you about African history. If it's a black community and it's a black school and the majority of the kids in there are black, they should be taught about their history.
Exactly.
They shouldn't be taught about European history or Roman history. You know what I'm saying? All that gay faggot ass shit. That ain't got nothing to do with us.
But you know the funny thing is, my brother, when I used to go to school, like I tell people, I never used to see black people in a book.
You didn't. They wasn't. I'm the same age as you. They wasn't in there.
So that's what I'm saying. So that does say something to you. And it leaves something to most of us. We didn't question that. What it does, it tells us that something is wrong with us.
And there's nothing wrong.
Because the thing is, as I said, no religion has ever come to Africans and teach them their history. No religion has helped Africans to come out of the place that they are in. The only solution to their problem is Jesus. Yep. Now, seriously, my friend, like I said, if this is who I'm waiting on, I don't want to know him. And I ain't waiting on nobody. Whatever problem I have to do, I solve them myself. You hear what I'm saying? Because when I came on this plane, I came with all the ability to solve whatever problem faced me. I don't need no Jesus to solve my problem. For what? The Jesus that give me the problem that I'm facing? Give me a break, man. That is stupid. How does it that the man that create your problem want to fix it for you?
Put you in the situation.
That put you in the hole.
He ain't gonna take you out the hole. You're in the hole for a reason.
That's what I'm saying.
Ain't gonna take you out the hole.
Because it's no benefit to him to take you out the hole.
And plus, like you said earlier, he's scared.
Exactly.
If he take us out to hold, then we might take our shit back. And they don't want that. Because they don't want us to do what they done to us. And by us being the people we are, we're not going to do that. We just going to kick y'all ass out and get our shit back.
They can't come to the grasp of that.
Because of what they did. But that's another thing. That's why it's important to read slavery. Go read the slave narratives. Get slave testimonies. See what was done to us. And then look and say, okay, well, all of this that was done to us in slavery was done by Christians.
Yep.
How cool is that religion?
Yep.
And why would you want to... What I don't understand is once you find that out, why would you want to be a part of a religion that murdered your people, kept you in a submissive position? The only way you're going to be able to come out of this is by giving your whole faith to Jesus. That's the only way that you're going to come out this shit. You know what I'm saying? And people been doing this and dying, and ain't shit changed.
Yep.
They've been telling us this shit since the 18th. As soon as they gave us the Bible, that's when they started telling us this shit. And ain't nobody... I haven't seen the hallelujah land yet. Or as far as us, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen the blessings that come from us. Or better yet, why do we have to jump through so many damn hoops to get a fucking blessing?
Right. But you know the thing they tell us about the promised land, my brother. You know why they tell you the promised land? Because you'll never see it.
Because it ain't promised to you. Man.
There you go. Exactly.
It ain't promised to you.
So we need to let that go. You know, just let that go. Let it die. You see what I'm saying? We need to really start anew, change our thinking, change this whole dynamics, and realize that we have to put an end to it because nobody's gonna do it for us. That's the reality. You see?
All right.
So this thing called Christianity, your best thing to do is take it, I'm sorry, but flush it down. Well, I'm not sorry. Take it and flush it down the toilet. That's the best thing you can do with it. You see what I'm saying? But go to your history. Go to who you are. Learn of who you are. Learn of the people that you come from. A tree cannot survive without its roots.
And we got strong roots.
There you go, my brother.
We got very strong roots.
Strongest root ever.
Strongest roots ever. That's true.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, it's just a matter of you know, when you come to know your personal history, you first of all when you come to know yourself, then second of all you come to know your personal history. Then when you love yourself and appreciate yourself, you're gonna do for self. But you know what the thing I say? It makes you really feel for your people. And you really see their plight in a way
Different
that
way.
in a whole different scope. Because like I said, I'm not here to beat down on my brothers and sisters. I'm here to show them. I'm here to show them what has been done to them by this thing. This thing. We got to really come together and say, look here, something is totally wrong and we can't continue to make it go on the way that it is going on. Okay? So that's why I say flush Christianity down the toilet.
But I will say this.
For you.
This last couple of years, blacks are walking away from Christianity.
Yes.
They are walking away.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It is an awakening in the black community saying, all right, this Christianity shit ain't working. You know what I'm saying? And they starting to wake up. That's a truly blessing.
You know
Promise
what?
you.
I agree with you, my brother. And like I said, you know what? When I see the comments of people who tell you that they've been in the religion for 40 years, 50 years, and they're walking away from it because they realize that they have been duped. They realize that they've been giving up their life savings for these things that doesn't work, and it is being used against them. Because like I tell our people, I said, one and the last thing I'm going to say, the money that you're putting into this religion, they are going down to the bank of white supremacy Monday morning, and the same money is working against you continually to keep you in the same suffering and the perpetual situation that you find yourself.
I got to say this, though. That motherfucking money that they taking to the banks, your black ass can't even get a bank loan from them, but all the money you gave to your church, they got your money. They got your money. And you could be a church Bible bumping motherfucker been giving your money to the church for 20 years. And that same bank that they giving you, go try to get a loan from them. Show your black beautiful face in that white bank and see if you get that loan.
Exactly.
See if you get that loan.
Exactly.
And it took your money that you didn't, all 10% of your check. Man, what the fuck? If Jesus is God, or if God is God, why they need 10% of your check?
When he
created
all of this.
it. He created this. You know what I'm saying? Why does he need?
What's he using
What
money
are
for?
you using money for?
You see what I'm saying? But you see, that's how we